Here we go. What's up, guys? French Ace Coach 704 here, breaking it down once again. The weekly show featuring tonight power rankings. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Alright, so we're featuring power rankings, and we're going to go through standings and playoff looks, and maybe projections if I feel like it. But, the main thing is really about, where everyone ranks right now. This is the quarter 3 power rankings, so at the end of the season, probably after the playoffs, we'll do a complete ranking of everyone in the league. Excuse me. And, we'll kind of go from there. So, starting out in the power rankings, the last number 32 team this time around is going to be the Seahawks. They've only scored 170 points all season, and that's why they're 32. Number 31 will be the Steelers. They've given up the most points in the league, 373 points. Number 30 is the Vikings. I'm not going to really talk too much about these guys, like I said before. Once we get to the top 12 or so, we'll kind of break it down from there. Number 29 are the Denver Broncos. Team has had a lot of turnover. We got a new owner in the league. Hopefully he will be a good fit. Played one game already. Hadn't heard anything bad about it, so hopefully he'll work out. 49ers are 28th. The Chiefs are 27th. New owner there. Also welcome. Knocked off the previously undefeated Falcons. So this guy will be should be a pretty good addition. Glad to have you. Number 26 will be let's go with the New York Jets. 25 will be the Washington Redskins. 24 are the Houston Texans. 23rd, just kind of getting an idea, kind of scrolling through everybody here. The Miami Dolphins are 23rd. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 22nd. The Green Bay Packers will be 21st. The New England Patriots will be 20th. Number 19 in the power rankings will be the Baltimore Ravens. Number 18, the Buffalo Bills. Number 17 are the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we're getting into teams with winning records. Everyone before that had a record of 500 or below. So that was 16. So pretty much half the league is split, which is pretty much the way it should be. Number 15 in the power rankings will be the Chicago Bears. Number 14, right behind them, the Detroit Lions. 13th, a new addition to the league, Arizona Cardinals. Number 12 are the Carolina Panthers. And number 11 are the New Orleans Saints. So now we get into the top 10, the best players in the PEL League. I think I'm missing a number in here, but if I don't know, we'll figure it out. If I'm missing a number, then I'm missing a number. And we'll just get to the end and we'll say who's the best team, and we won't give them a number. It's been a long week. Alright, anyways, number 10 in the PEL power rankings are the Tennessee Titans. Number 9 are the Cleveland Browns. Number 8 are the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 7, Oakland Raiders. Number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 5, your San Diego Superchargers. So I did miss a number in there, so really we're going to have 4 more and then the best team. So number 4, just hang with me. Number 4 are the Indianapolis Colts. Number 3 are the New York Giants, have won 5 in a row. And then tied, we'll do it this way. We'll do the Giants and the Cowboys tied at number 3, because that's about right. And they play this week, so they'll settle that. Number 2 because they lost, are the Atlanta Falcons, and the new number one are the LA Rams. Rams have won 7 in a row. I'm going to talk about these teams a little bit, so I'm going to go back and break it down so you have the complete order there. The Falcons lost to the new Chiefs in a game that was close, and the Falcons have played a lot of close games. So, it's no shame in losing. Man's going to get you at some point, but they're still a very good team. The interesting thing is now, them and the Rams are tied to see who's going to be the number one seed in the NFC. And the Rams had a close game of their own. They barely beat the Patriots. A game that was closer than I thought it would be, but they pulled it out. They pulled a guy off the practice squad, I think Taiwan Jones or something like that. He ended up winning Player of the Week, so that was pretty impressive. Behind them, the Cowboys and Giants, they got a big NFC East matchup this week, both at 9-3 on the season. The Cowboys destroyed the Giants the first time around in week 1. And I'm sure payback will be on the Giants' minds as they have figured this game out. And that was the first game they pretty much played on Madden 17. And they figured it out, and they won 5 in a row. The Cowboys have won 3 in a row since losing in Pittsburgh in an upset. So it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup there. And the Colts sit at 9-3 also, and that's really behind the strength of a good defense. They've only given up 207 points on the year. But their point differential is not that big, so they play a lot of close games. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. And behind them are both of us in the AFC West battling it out, and we both got it done with defense. I've only given up 189 points on the year, and the Raiders have only given up 181. Both won 5 in a row, and we got a big matchup in week 15 next week. So this is really going to be a 2-horse race right now in the AFC West. The Titans are chasing the Colts in the AFC South. They lost last week, so they got to make up some ground there. And also the Jaguars in the AFC South. It's a big 3-team race there. And you're going to figure, once we look at the wild card standings, we'll talk about, who could get in and all that, back and forth. And then behind them in the power rankings, AFC North, you got the battle between the Bengals and the Browns, which is, they're both 8-4. And that's going to be a really good battle, going forward to see who wins that division. And then behind them, we got a group at 75, primarily NFC teams, looking at wild cards in the Bears, Panthers, Lions, Cardinals, and Saints. Bears and Lions have aspirations in the NFC North to win that division. But those are your top teams in the power rankings and kind of, why they are where they are. So let's shift over. And we're going to take a look at the standings and talk a little bit about playoff projections and who could be where and all that. So let me scroll through the divisions real quick. NFC North, you got the Lions and Bears both tied at 7-5. Packers 5-7. They had to pretty much win out to really have a shot and hope they get some help with someone beating the Lions over the Bears. But the Lions and Bears are pretty much fighting this out for the NFC North. Bears have an advantage. They have 3 division wins right now. The Lions are 2-2 in the division, so if it does come down to a tie, right now the Bears would have the tiebreaker based on division record. I can't see head to head, but let's just go with that for now. NFC South, of course, the Falcons have pretty much got that locked up at 11-1. Panthers and Saints are playing for wild cards. The Bucks, they need a lot of help to get a wild card, and we'll break it down here in a minute. NFC East, we just talked about the Cowboys and Giants both at 9-3. The big game this week to try and settle who can take the lead in that division. Like I said, the Cowboys won the first battle, and they're 4-0 in the division. The Giants are only 2-1 in the division, so right now the Cowboys have an advantage with the tiebreaker. NFC West, Rams have a big lead there. They're 11-1. They'll probably win the West. Cardinals at 7-5 have a wild card shot. So let's take a look at the NFC based on all that. Let's get to that screen. So Falcons and Rams are pretty much in a really good position to get first round buys if they stay in their winning ways. They're both 11-1. Number 1 overall seed. I don't think they played head to head. So you look at conference record, they're both 8-0 in the conference. So when it gets that deep, just whoever Madden wants basically to be the number one overall seed there. And then we still got a few weeks to bear that out. So Cowboys Giants, we're playing for the NFC East lead. So the winner of that division will most likely be the number 3 seed. And right now we can say that's the Cowboys. And the winner of the NFC North between Lions and Bears will be the number 4 seed. For the hell of it, let's say the Lions. So that means the Giants will be one wild card right now. And then your other wild card, oh, it's a mess. It comes down to a group of 7-5 teams, 6-6 teams, and if you want to include the 5-7 teams, you can because we got enough games left. But we're looking at the Bears, Panthers, Saints, Cardinals, Eagles, Packers, and Buccaneers, all in a battle for the second wild card spot. And if you look at conference record, because those are the tiebreaker when it comes down to this. I'm trying to find it. Okay, I went past it. So your conference record, the Panthers have the most conference wins right now. They're 6-3 in the NFC. Bears are 5-3. Cardinals are 5-4. So when you look at tiebreakers, those are the teams right now that have the favorite in the tiebreaker situation. So if you're not one of those teams, you need to be preparing for next season. And luckily in the NFC, there's a lot of teams that are still kind of in it. If you're at 5-7 like the Packers and Bucks, you need to win out, plain and simple. Eagles, you probably need to win out too to have a really good shot. You could maybe afford one more loss, but you need to get some help. So if you're in that middle tier, Bears, Panthers, Saints, Cardinals, you're right in the thick of it for a wild card spot. Giants are sitting pretty good. I think they'll get one wild card, or the loser between Giants and Cowboys will get one wild card. So it's a fight for that other wild card. Main thing is try to win your division. That'll at least get you a home playoff game. Falcons and Rams, I think, will have the byes though. So in the AFC, it's a little less unclear, just to say the least. Let's take a look at the divisions. AFC North, like I said, Bengals and Browns are both 8-4, fighting it out. Taking a look at the division records, Bengals are 2-1 in the division. Browns are 3-1 in the division. Ravens at 6-6. You need some help, man. You need to really win out to have a shot at the division. And we'll look at your wild card chances here in a minute. Now, AFC South, I tell you, it's a hell of a race between the Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. Colts are one up at 9-3. Jags and Titans both 8-4. Looking at the division wins, now here's a big advantage. The Titans are 4-0 in the division. Jags are only 1-2 in the division, and the Colts are 2-2 in the division. So the Titans have a big advantage if they can equal the record of the Jaguars and the Colts, and they would probably win a tiebreaker based on the better record, but they got to get some help. Someone's got to beat the Colts to kind of even that thing up. So that's a hell of a race over there in the AFC South. AFC East, well, we used to call them the AFC least. The Bills are on top of the division with a 6-6 record. Behind them, one game behind, are the Dolphins and Patriots, both at 5-7, and even the Jets at 4-8 still have a shot because they're only 2 games behind. And if you look at division record, neither one really has a huge advantage. Bills are 2-2 in the division. Dolphins are 2-1 in the division. Patriots are 2-2 in the division. And even the Jets are 1-2 in the division. So really, everyone is still kind of in it here. You look at the numbers, the Patriots have the best numbers. They're the only team that's scored more than they've given up all season, but they've lost 3 in a row. So they're trending the wrong way. Whoever gets in will get a home playoff game. You're not going to get a wild card, so whoever wins the division is going to be most likely the number 4 seed in the AFC playoffs. So that's something to play for, even if you're below 500. AFC West, it's really a 2-team race between myself and the Raiders. We're both 8-4, both won 5 in a row. In the division, I'm 4-0. The Raiders are 2-1. I did win the first game head-to-head, so our next matchup is a much bigger game for the Raiders than it is for us, because we do have one game in hand. The other two, Chiefs and Broncos, are new guys, but they're playing for pride, but they can have an effect on the race. I know the Chiefs play the Raiders this week. So if you want to win, Chiefs, go right ahead. You already knocked off the Falcons. Go ahead and knock off the Raiders, and we'll be all good. So let's look at the conference and talk about seeding as it stands right now. So the Colts are the #1 seed right now at 9-3, but that is far from settled. You got a gaggle of 8-4 teams behind the Colts, and who is going to be #2 seed? It'll be a division winner, but it's so unsettled right now. You know, it could be anybody. So when you look at this, we're going to project some teams to win divisions just for seeding purposes. So we'll say the Colts are the #1 seed. Let's say they win the AFC South. All right. And then we're going to say, let's say the Bengals win the AFC North. I'll say I'll win the AFC West when I'm in the lead right now. And then let's say the Bills win the AFC East. So based on conference records in that scenario, let's see, AFC wins. Okay, so the Colts have 7 AFC wins. And then I've got 7 AFC wins. So Colts be #1, Chargers be #2, and then Bengals be #3, and then Bills would be #4. So then you got 2 wild card spots, and then that's gonna be between these teams. This is gonna be crazy. The Browns, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Raiders. Browns, Jaguars, Titans, Raiders, Ravens are the only realistic ones. I don't think 5 and 7 you have a shot. Anything below that, you don't have a shot at a wild card. So I tell you, man, there's a lot of teams in it in the AFC, a lot of similar records, and a lot of big games coming up down the stretch, especially within these divisional games. So if you're playing a division opponent, you really need to focus on getting that win. That's really going to help you not only in the division standings, but when it comes to tiebreakers within the division, and then your conference wins also are your tiebreaker when it comes down to seeding for wild cards and first round buys especially. So keep those things in mind. So that's where we are with standings. We can take a look, because I got a little bit of time left. Let's take a look at the award leaders right now across the board, and we're going to look at yearly awards. I posted the weekly award picture in the chat earlier. So right now the leader for MVP of the league is Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys, and we know he's been beasting behind that huge O-line all season long. Behind him is Gurley with the Rams, Murray with the Raiders, Andy Dalton with the Bengals, and Jeremy Hill with the Eagles. I'll give you top 5. Coach of the year right now, Jeff Fisher with the Rams, of course. Deontay's doing a good job. Dan Quinn, of course, heavy with the Falcons. And behind him, Chuck Pagano with the Colts. McAdoo with the Giants. And Gus Bradley with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there's no love for my boy in the Chargers. Come on, man. It's terrible. In the AFC, right now, Offensive Player of the Year is Lamar Miller, and he probably got half of those yards he has on me. Latavius Murray's behind him. Adrian Peterson with the Jaguars. Tevin Coleman with the Ravens. Andy Dalton with the Bengals. Defensive Player of the Year, AFC. My boy, Pernell McPhee, #1. That's a surprise. Behind him, Demario Davis with the Browns. C.J. Mosley with the Jaguars. Christian Kirksey with the Browns. And Ndamukong Suh with the Dolphins. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Josh Ferguson, running back with the Colts. Cody Kessler behind him with the Browns. Corey Coleman behind him with the Browns. Alonzo Smith with the Ravens. And Moritz Bowringer with the Cincinnati Bengals. Defensive Rookie of the Year right now, Bronson Kaufusi. Ravens, I don't know who he is. Emmanuel Ogbar with the Browns behind him. Reggie Ragland behind him with the Bills. Sean Davis behind him with the Steelers. And Kevin Dodd behind him with the Titans. Right now, best QB in the AFC. Superchargers Phillip Rivers. All right. Andy Dalton behind him, the Bengals. Marcus Mariota behind him with the Titans. Behind him, Ben Roethlisberger somehow with the Steelers. And behind him, Andrew Luck with the Colts. Best running back in the AFC right now, Latavius Murray with the Raiders. Behind him, Tevin Coleman with the Ravens. Lamar Miller with the Texans. Adrian Peterson with the Jags. And Melvin Gordon with the New England Patriots. Best wide receiver right now in the league, in the AFC is A.J. Green. Behind him, Antonio Brown with the Steelers. J.J. Nelson with the Jaguars. Keenan Allen with the Chargers. And Rashard Matthews with the Titans. Best OL right now in the AFC, Joe Thomas with the Browns. Behind him, Andrew Whitworth with the Bengals. Marshall Yanda with the Ravens. Jack Newhart with the Colts. And Felix Yasamili with the Raiders. Best D lineman right now in the AFC, Ndamukong Suh with the Dolphins, followed by Pernell McPhee with the Chargers, Martin Kafusi with the Ravens, Carlos Dunlap with the Bengals, and J.J. Watt with the Texans. Best linebacker in the AFC, Demario Davis right now with the Browns, Brian Cushing with the Texans. Behind him, C.J. Mosley with the Jaguars. Behind him, Christian Kirksey with the Browns, P.J. Dawson with the Bengals. Best DB right now is Eric Reed with the Jags. Behind him, Stephon Gilmore with the Bills. Justin Gilbert with the Browns. Logan Ryan with the Patriots. And Sean Williams with the Bengals. And, of course, best kicker, Cody Parkey with the Bills. Behind him, Adam Vinatieri with the Colts. Dan Carpenter with the Raiders. Steven Gostkowski with the Patriots. Mike Nugent with the Bengals. Over to the NFC. Offensive Player of the Year right now is Ezekiel Elliott, no surprise there. Behind him, Todd Gurley with the Rams, Odell Beckham with the Giants, Jeremy Hill with the Eagles, and Gio Bernard with the Packers. Defensive Player of the Year, NFC, right now, Danny Trevathan with the Giants. I think that's a little boost through Sims and crap. Behind him, Aaron Donald with the Rams, Darian Thompson with the Giants, Charles Tapper with the Cowboys, and Robert Alford with the Atlanta Falcons. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ezekiel Elliott, right now, of course, with the Cowboys, followed by Dak Prescott with the Cowboys, Carson Wentz with the Eagles, Jared Goff with the Rams, and Cody Core with the Minnesota Vikings. Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, NFC, Darian Thompson with the Giants, Charles Tapper with the Cowboys, Leonard Floyd with the Chicago Bears, Mackenzie Alexander with the Vikings, and KJ Dillon with the Dallas Cowboys. Best quarterback NFC right now, not real life, in the game, Matt Ryan with the Atlanta Falcons. Eli Manning with the Giants behind him, Dak Prescott behind him with the Cowboys, Drew Brees with the Saints behind him, and Jared Goff behind him with the Rams. Best running back, Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys, Todd Gurley behind him with the Rams, Jeremy Hill behind him with the Eagles, Gio Bernard behind him with the Packers, and Devontae Freeman behind him with the Falcons. Best wide receiver, Odell Beckham with the Giants. Behind him, Julio Jones with the Falcons, Rashad Perriman with the Seahawks, Martavis Bryant with the Bears, and Jalen Strong with the Eagles. Best offensive lineman, of course, the Cowboys on here. Tyron Smith with the Cowboys, followed by Zach Martin with the Cowboys, Alex Mack with the Falcons, Travis Frederick with the Cowboys, and Teron Armstead with the New Orleans Saints. Best D lineman is Aaron Donald with the Rams, followed by Charles Tapper with the Cowboys, Robert Quinn with the Rams, Olivier Vernon with the Giants, and Cameron Jordan with the Saints. Best linebacker, Danny Trevathan with the New York Giants, Ryan Shazier with the Bears, Leonard Floyd with the Bears, Carlos Dansby with the Eagles, and Michael Kendricks with the Eagles. Best defensive back is Darian Thompson with the Giants, followed by Orlando Scandrick with the Cowboys, Robert Alford with the Falcons, Malcolm Jenkins with the Eagles, and Demarius Randall with the Green Bay Packers. Your best kicker in the NFC, Matt Prater with the Detroit Lions, followed by Connor Barth with the Saints, Matt Bryant with the Falcons, Mason Crosby with the Packers, and Graham Gano with your Carolina Panthers. So those are your award leaders right now. If you want to move up, don't change your damn stats. But if you want to move up, you got an idea of where some of your guys are right now. And we're going to take a look at best team offenses. We'll do top 5. And right now, this is going to be on total offense, excuse me. So the Cowboys are the #1 total offense in the league, followed by the Patriots. This is by yardage. The Giants, Steelers, and Bengals. All right. So top pass offenses, you got the Steelers somehow, because they don't run the ball. The Steelers, the Bears, Seahawks, Giants, and Redskins. Top pass offenses. Top running offenses, the Oakland Raiders, Dallas Cowboys, St. Louis Rams, New England Patriots, and Philadelphia Eagles. Points per game. Top 5, Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, St. Louis Rams, and Atlanta Falcons. Alright. So let's take a look at, there's a lot of things we can look at here, but we're going to stop there. Let's look at defense. So top 5 total defenses in the league. #1, Oakland Raiders. #2, New York Jets. #3, Atlanta Falcons. #4, Jacksonville Jaguars. And #5, your San Diego Superchargers. Top pass defense in the league. #1, Raiders. #2, Chargers. #3, Panthers. #4, Jaguars. #5, Jets. Top run defense in the league. #1, Atlanta Falcons. #2, St. Louis Rams. Look at that. Top 2 teams in the NFC, top 2 rush defenses. There's something to it. #3, New York Jets. #4, Indianapolis Colts. #5, Cincinnati Bengals. Top defenses by points allowed. #1, St. Louis Rams. #2, Atlanta Falcons. #3, Oakland Raiders. #4, Jacksonville Jaguars. #5, San Diego Chargers. Let's take a look at this just out of curiosity. Top sacks in the league. #1, St. Louis Rams. #2, Carolina Panthers. #3, San Diego Chargers. #4, New Orleans Saints. #5, New York Giants. Alright, so there's some other things we can look at here. And just out of curiosity, we always talk about how Madden BS's us. And I only got a couple minutes left. I like to keep this at 30 minutes for the live show. Well, sort of live show. So let's take a look at who's penalized the most here. Who gets the most BS here? This is going to be interesting. Look at this. #1 are the New York Giants. #2, the Kansas City Chiefs. #3, Minnesota Vikings. #4, Pittsburgh Steelers. #5, Carolina Panthers. Penalty yardage, same top 5. Well, yeah, same top 5. So I like to say those are the 5 teams that can get screwed the most in terms of penalties. Turnovers, let's take a look at this. Who leads the league in turnover margin? This is a big thing when it comes to winning games. So #1, let me sort it. Make sure this is right. Okay, so #1 are the Falcons, no surprise there. #2 are the Browns. Tied for 2 are the Browns and the Rams. #3, the Giants. #4, tied for 4th are the Bengals and the Packers, and the Cowboys are #5. So who has the most takeaways? So about the same number there. Browns, Giants, Packers, Bears, and Cowboys. Makes sense. What else can we look at? Conversions. 3rd down conversion percentage. This is a big deal. Look at successful teams. The Rams, Bengals, Redskins, Ravens, Patriots. A little interesting stuff. Red zone conversion percentage. Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Raiders, Chiefs. So pretty much your top teams here when it comes to all these different little categories that you're looking at. And I don't know if you guys know all this stuff is here, but it is. And it's really cool to look at. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the top player stats in the league. And we're going to just give you the top 5 like I've been doing for everything else. So, and we're going to do this by yardage, okay? So top 5 quarterbacks by yardage. Big Ben in Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson, Seattle, Kirk Cousins with the Redskins, Eli Manning with the Giants, and Phillip Rivers with your San Diego Chargers. Top 5 running backs by yardage. Ezekiel Elliott with the Cowboys. Todd Gurley with the Rams. Latavius Murray with the Raiders. Jeremy Hill with the Eagles. And Lamar Miller with the Texans. And right behind him, I'll mention it's Melvin Gordon because he's only 7 yards behind those guys. Top receivers. And we'll sort it by, let's sort it by yardage. I think that's a little more effective here. Odell Beckham with the Giants. Rashad Perriman with the Seahawks. AJ Green with the Bengals. Antonio Brown with the Steelers. Julio Jones with the Falcons. And an honorable mention to J.J. Nelson because he's got 942 yards, 34 catches, which is a 27-yard average per catch. That's a deep one. Defense, we'll go through the top categories and we'll end it there. Leading tacklers in the league, Bobby Wagner with the Seahawks, Eric Reed with the Jaguars, C.J. Mosley with the Jaguars, Jonathan Cyprian with the Jaguars, damn, a lot of tackles. Devin McCourty with the Patriots, Earl Thomas with the Seahawks, and Eric Berry with the Chiefs. Top sack leaders in the league, Ndamukong Suh with the Dolphins, Pernell McPhee with the Chargers, Aaron Donald with the Rams, Charles Tapper with the Cowboys, Carlos Dunlap with the Bengals, J.J. Watt Texans, Jamal Sheard Eagles, Cameron Jordan Saints. Top interception leaders, Ryan Shazier, the Bears, Danny Trevathan with the Giants, Demario Davis with the Browns, Darian Thompson with the Giants, C.J. Mosley with the Jaguars, and several guys tied at 6. Carlos Dansby Eagles, Christian Kirksey Browns, Leonard Floyd Bears, Brian Cushing Texans, and Eric Reed Jags, and Stephon Gilmore with the Bills. So that's going to end this week's show. So next week we'll talk more about playoffs. We'll have a couple more advances in. We'll be closer to the start of the playoffs. So we really in-depth playoff talk with seeds, possibly projected matchups based on where we are. And we'll talk a little bit about how the playoffs flow. We go to a 24-hour advance. And we'll talk a little bit about off-season and how that'll flow. And we may have an idea how the schedule will be. So tune in next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Good luck on the field this week in the PEL. Primetime Elite League. Thanks for watching.